I'm really excited to dive into a topic that's often overlooked in wellness, which is financial health. Um, Personally, it's one of my favorite topics because it has such a powerful impact on our overall health and well-being. And when we think about health, we usually picture things like diet, exercise, or doctor visits, right? But money plays a major role in this too. The way we manage our finances can either be a source of stress or a tool for peace. So I want you to think about the last time you felt stressed about money, right? Did it also affect your sleep, energy, or even your mood? That's the link that I'll be addressing here today. And then we'll also look at practical ways to build a budget that not only supports financial stability for you, but also helps you live healthier and more balanced life overall. So let's start with why financial wellness matters. Financial stress is one of the leading causes of anxiety. It can interrupt our sleep due to excessive worrying, lower productivity, even affect physical health, from blood pressure to immune function. In the workplace, it can lead to absenteeism or disengagement, which impacts performance and teamwork. So when we strengthen our financial wellness, we're not just improving money management, but we're also caring for our mental and physical health. So budgeting in this way becomes an act of self-care. Next slide. When finances are stable, stress levels decrease. And that alone has a major impact on our mental health, right? So financial stability also provides the ability to maintain our regular checkups. We can invest in healthier food options and participate in fitness or any wellness activities. And these small choices do add up over time. And it doesn't just end there. When your mind is at ease financially, you tend to sleep better at night, feel more connected in your relationships, and then avoid a lot of tension that money can cause at home. So in short, the way we manage money today can really shape our overall quality of life tomorrow. Next slide. So then how do we begin? The first step is tracking, right? Until you know exactly where your money is going, it's going to be difficult to make those changes. So track your income and expenses. If you're not sure where to start, I would suggest look at your credit card statements for the past 3 months, and then get an idea of your spending pattern in different categories. Once you've done that, you've tracked your income and expenses. The next step is separating your needs from your wants. So needs are going to be the essentials, things that you must pay for in order to live and function, whereas wants are things that bring enjoyment but aren't necessarily, essential or necessary. A balanced budget doesn't mean eliminating wants. It just means really aligning your spending so that your financial choices support your long-term health and overall goals. Next slide. One practical framework that I love is 50-30-20 rule, which is a good form of budgeting. Again, you have to first determine your monthly take-home pay, and this is after tax income. On a monthly basis, you want to allocate 50% of your income to your needs categories, such as your housing, utilities, and groceries. And then 30% of the budget can go towards wants, like dining out, entertainment, travel, or whatever that is important to you. And then 20% of the budget should be directed towards savings or debt repayment. And this guideline isn't really rigid, but it is a useful structure to help you create that balanced approach where you can enjoy your current lifestyle and then future financial security. I would say if you have debt payment, maybe think about increasing the savings or debt payment category percentage to more than 20%, and then lower the percentage in the wants category until your debts are paid off. Next slide. So within that budget, it's important to also prioritize spending that supports health. And that includes nutritious foods, preventive healthcare, and wellness memberships or classes that bring value for you. And these aren't frivolous spending. They're investments in the long term, right? For your well-being. There's a saying that fits well here: pay for your health now or pay for your sickness later. So by dedicating part of your budget to wellness, you're reducing that future cost, both financially and personally. Oftentimes, I think we think of health as an expense, but if you focus on the preventive health strategies, it's an investment rather than an expense. Next slide. One area where budgeting and health intersect is grocery shopping. So planning meals ahead of time really helps reduce both food waste and unplanned spending. Buying staple items in bulk is very cost effective, and then comparing prices will help you spot better deals. And then another smarter strategy is buying fruits and vegetables that are in season. They're usually fresher, less expensive, and higher in quality. So a thoughtful grocery plan can really stretch your budget while also improving your nutrition. Healthy living doesn't necessarily have to be high cost, right? If you think about walking, jogging, or any body weight exercises at home, they're all free and effective. Communities often provide fitness classes or wellness events and no cost. And nowadays, online platforms are just full of resources that you can take advantage of. On the financial side, you want to automate savings transfers so that money is set aside consistently. Think of it as paying yourself first. And then you want to track your progress, whether that's monthly or every other month, whatever works for you. And then look for areas to cut on any unnecessary expenses that aren't truly aligned with your values. The key here is consistency. So small steps add up to significant results over time. Next slide. Another important strategy here is building a wellness fund or emergency fund, as some people like to call it. Essentially, it's a financial cushion for unexpected expenses. The goal is to save at least 3 to 6 months worth of essential expenses. You can save more than that if you want. And this provides a safety net for medical needs or emergencies or any sudden changes in income because life happens, right? Building this fund doesn't have to happen all at once. So I suggest starting small. Aim for 1 month coverage and then add to it regularly until you have at least 3 to 6 months or more covered. And over time, it creates that security and peace of mind, which reduces financial stress overall. So to support your efforts on this journey, there are many resources and tools available out there. Budgeting apps are a great way to track your income and spending automatically, and that will give you a clear picture of where your money is going. And then taking advantage of community resources like free health clinics, nutrition programs, or fitness events can also be a valuable support. And then financial literacy websites, they are free education and tips to really strengthen your overall money management skills. The key here is that you want to choose a tool that works for you, that fits your lifestyle, and you want to be consistent at it. Last slide. So with that, we've explored the connections between financial health and overall wellness and review some practical steps like budgeting, basics, the 50-30-20 rule, smart grocery shopping, saving strategies, and building a wellness fund. Again, I truly encourage you to pick one and just start, whether that's tracking your expenses or planning meals or setting the automated savings transfer, as long as you're being consistent with it so that you get that positive momentum going and then you can add more strategies to it as you continue on this journey. So thank you for being here today. I'd like to open up to everyone if there's any questions that I may be able to answer.
Everyone, feel free to unmute yourself to ask your questions or simply just type them in the chat area. And the one thing that I wanted to say as I was listening to your presentation, those wants, very hard to let go.
Yes.
I'm sure many of us are in the same situation.
Yes, I think a lot of times we can almost create our own justification to buy whatever we want, even though it may not necessarily align with our budget, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the dangers of the credit card, right?
Yeah.
Anyone, any questions? All right, we have one question in the chat. Can you go over the 50-30-20 rule one more time, please?
Sure. So with the 50-30-20 rule, what you first want to do is determine your take-home monthly payment, and that's after tax income. And then you want to divide up 50% of that take-home pay that you get and set it aside for your needs, such as your housing, utilities, groceries, the things that you must pay for in order to essentially survive. 30% of the take-home pay can go towards wants, like dining out, travel, whatever that's important to you. And then 20% of it should be directed towards saving or any debt repayment. And I also suggested that maybe think about increasing that savings or debt repayment if you have a higher debt repayment amount. So instead of 20%, maybe increase it to 25 and then lower the 30% in the wants category to maybe 25, however that may fit you personally. I hope that answers your question.